Oh, welcome along, Rugby League fans. This is the Mad Monday podcast live from the Export Beer Garden studio. And thank you to the legends, by the way, from 4 and 20 Pies. It is pie season. It is also the season of NRL. It is getting towards the business end. And joining me from deep in West Auckland is Dai Henwood. Good morning, Dai.
Good morning. I'm in a frosty shed in Avondale here, and we're about to rake over the coals of what was probably an expected loss, but nonetheless heartbreaking.
Well, it was wet. It was wet in Sydney. We've had a nice run of weather in the North Island of New Zealand, but I tell you what, in Sydney, it is just seems to be raining every single weekend, and the Bulldogs knew exactly how to play in that slop, and they dominated our beloved Wars 32 points to 14, and I would hasten to add, Dai Henwood, that might have been a slightly flattering scoreline.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, the Bulldogs are known as the worst team in the wet. They've struggled in the wet. As you said, it feels like the last 3 weekends have been almost cyclonic conditions over in Sydney. And, I mean, this was a wet game. It had some fine patches. I think this was very flattering because the first half, the Bulldogs sort of set the tone for what was going to happen. They built a lead, 20-2 at halftime, even though there was a bit of a suspect try to kick out. How did you feel on that as a double movement?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of grey area around double movement this year, and maybe for the last couple of seasons. I think players know what they're doing when it comes to the whole momentum thing. And I mean, I feel like that's the one rule that back in the day was more strictly enforced.
Yeah, I obviously as a Warriors fan looked at it as a double movement, but holistically it felt quite 50-50. I think the way Warriors fans felt ripped off as Wade Egan had that one against the Dolphins, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
No, not Dolphins.
Oh, the game before where he was given that. Once again, the Warriors, granted, you could say had a rough call of the green with the penalties, but our discipline kills me. Like the fact that we go set for set and then we just give them yardage penalties, then they're on attack. It feels like we always make that mistake or that stupid little niggly play when it's not needed.
Well, it's inside the 10, it seems to be. That seems to be the thing we're getting pinged for all the time. It's not tackle penalties generally. We're not a grubby team. I know I say that with, red, white and green spectacles on, but we're not a grubby team. But we seem to just be constantly inside the 10. Is that pushing the boundaries or is that a fitness thing?
Well, I was looking at it and I was trying to think why. And we run a very small squad now, right? Mm. Like, we don't have your Bunty Afoas or your Tom Ales getting any game time, We're running a very small squad. The breakout young guy, Leka Halasima, I reckon he's getting a bit tired, actually. I reckon he's getting a bit knackered because he's played big minutes, and it's huge for these young guys moving into first grade. This isn't a knock on him at all. It's just what happens. He was playing huge minutes, and also it's that difference of you're the breakout player, and now you're the guy that everyone's like got the notes written down on and make sure this guy can't get an arm free, don't give him any space. But yeah, those inside the 10s kill me. I'm not a big fan of the 6 again. Like, it just feels like it happens and it happens and it happens. And then at the back end of the game, we were given quite a few, but the game had gone by then, which also pulls me into Sam Healy. Why did he come on so late in the piece? Also, I don't understand the Freddie Lussick call, to be honest. I just don't understand it, because what the Warriors need is impact players, right? What the Warriors need is pace and points. We don't have either of those in our side. I was looking at the fastest players in the NRL, and our fastest player is Luke Metcalf, and he comes in almost at last in the comp at pace. So, and then we don't even feature close. So we need a bit of that pace. We need a bit of those young guys in there. And I just don't quite understand what was happening with Freddie Lussick.
Yeah, look, I've got nothing against Freddie Lussick. I think he's a good, solid player. I don't know. Now, I spent some time with him because he was in Vegas and he wasn't playing. So he was just like there as kind of doing all the media events and stuff. So I spent a bit of time with him. And I got the feeling that Freddie isn't necessarily just a number 9. Do you know much about him?
Up, eh?
He has, but I don't think he's... I mean, he can't play back row, I wouldn't have thought. But is he trying to be... Is he a half? I don't know. Like, is he a... I'm not entirely sure what his role is because he's not a dynamic number 9, you would say.
Yeah, and he's not a scoot out of number 9 and run, a bit like what Sam Healy is, who I personally might have done it the other way around and played Sam Healy, see how he's going. Then if things are going a bit pear-shaped, you bring Freddie on.
He was probably our best player on the park, Sam Healy, in his second first-grade game.
And I would say it's between him and RTS, who got 158 metres, a try. But it just was one of those games where it felt like we weren't ever in it, never could take it.
Yeah, look, I think we're overlooking the big thing here, and that is we are so depleted. And now we're like a 12-fingered Dutchman, mate. We got so many fingers plugging up holes in the dike. And I don't know. We've got players playing out of position. We've got our second string sort of spine has had to come in. And, we're arguably playing probably the second or third best side in the competition. I don't like excuses. But that is a thing to consider when we're judging this team at the moment.
Oh yeah, like for instance, even taking it down to Mitch Barnett starting, then Jackson Ford coming on. I feel that's a better rotation, but we don't have Mitch Barnett. Now, Tanner Boyd was dropped from the side on game day. The sort of word is that's because of his defence. But then I look back on the games that he was quiet in. There's an issue because Marata has a lot of issues with defence and he's inside Tanner. So it sort of falls out and then goes into the jamming that is DWZ. I will say thanks to DWZ. That's I think the 8th game on a trot. I put money on the alternate winger scoring and it never fails to come in, and Nari Tuala, in fact, came in with 2 tries. It intrigues me that Tanner Boyd gets dropped without, sure he didn't light the world on fire, but I didn't think he was that bad.
I thought he was solid as, man, and I think that's why they've got him.
And in the wet, we needed someone, because CHT can't kick long.
No.
And it kills me that his only 5th play option is this chip to the corner. Tamati can't kick long either. So Tanner Boyd can. So we really missed him. Yeah, that Tanner Boyd gets dropped so quickly, but then someone like DWZ, who he has a lot of errors in him, right? He's a club stalwart. He's on a lot of money. He's here for next year and the year after. So it's going to be intriguing what happens because you mentioned depleted. Where it's really hurting us outside of the big names, Ali Leatawa got injured. He's sort of slowly coming back through cup, but he hasn't hit his straps fully.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't see how Rocco Berry actually comes back. He hasn't really got through a game this year. No. So we're really missing centres. We're trying to plug them with Capewell. yet we don't sort of have back rowers because, as I mentioned, like Tom Ale's not in the pack. I mean, Dimitri Vaiamonga's going well, which brings me to my favourite refereeing decision where he got high tackled and the referee said that he hit the tackler's arm with his head.
Yeah. It's not a phrase that really is in the lexicon of a referee these days.
I just find that so punishing as a Warriors fan because it's like, really? I mean, and I get a little bit embarrassed as a Warriors fan because we're chronic on the lie down, milk the penalty.
Yeah.
And often it is a high shot. And it's because the ref seems to never call high shots against us. And we had the G-string Adam G, who is famously just shocking in his calls against us. But you've got to put them to one side. I don't blame the ref on this.
Not with a margin like this. It wasn't a tight game.
No, it wasn't like it comes down to one play. But it feels like we're in a bit of a slump city, big fella, because ever since that game against Penrith that we dropped at home against their second string team, we've only won 2, I think.
Yeah. Can I just pick up a point you made earlier? We sort of skipped over the Tamati Martin thing. He has signed on for another, is it 1 year or 2? Yes, a year. I do feel for the guy because last year, mid-season, he was our starting halfback when Sean Johnson was injured, and they were the best games we played last year, albeit not a high bar. So since then, he's been in cup. He was immediately dropped as soon as SJ came back. Then he got dropped to cup at the start of this year. Then he's been brought into the team as kind of just a distributing 14 that just goes into dummy half and passes the ball. Then he's been brought in to cover CHT for a game. Now he's been brought in at the last minute to play halfback. You've got to feel for the guy. Like, I know he's a utility, but that's taking utility to the extreme.
Oh, plus he's ended up playing 2 games at centre, I think, due to injuries.
Oh, yeah, and he played a bit of fullback as well at one point.
I completely agree. It's, for me, the issue is I feel we're not utilising him at what he is good at, which is that sturdy half.
Yeah.
Who either plays, I mean, it feels, in an ideal world, it feels more sensible to go Metcalf, Tamati Martin, CHT at 14. CHT feels a bit more like a 14. But, I mean, Webby is under pressure. You don't drop your halfback on game day unless you're, feeling the pressure, to be honest. I mean, I've had a lot of faith in Webby, and I still do, but I don't quite understand a lot of his calls, but I'm not in the inner sanctum, so there must be method to the madness. However, I worry even about this Dragons game coming up. We've got Dragons, Titans on the Gold Coast, who have found a pretty good vein of form at the moment.
Yeah.
Eels at home. Then we finish at the Sea Eagles. None of those are easy wins.
No, they're certainly not. So let's go to have a look at the table. So Warriors currently sitting 5th behind a rampant Penrith, who are just on a streak and have moved into 4th from last.
If they make the goddamn grand final again, that'll do me.
Warriors are 5th. They're 2 points ahead of the Broncos, also resurgent. But I've got this conspiracy. Now, you must be across this, Dai, the 5th place conspiracy. Now, I'm not suggesting we're throwing games. I'm not suggesting we're resting key players just, maybe to drop a few. But 5th place in the 8 is a much better place to be than 4th. I think there's a good argument to say that if you're 5th, you play the 8th place team, you play them at home. No, you don't get a week off. That's the thing. You don't get a week off if you win that first game. If you're 4th and you beat, but we're not going to beat Canberra away.
In Canberra.
We're not going to beat Melbourne away. So it's actually much better to finish fifth.
I don't even think of this as a conspiracy. I think it's a way of probably playing more finals games. You have to really get on a hot streak there. I was looking at all the potentials. We have the potential of finishing second. We also have the potential of finishing 11th. That's our ceiling and our basement at the moment.
Jesus. Yeah.
We need 2 wins to make the 8. So out of these...
Will that mean 8th if we win twice?
That will mean 8. I think if we win 2, we'll be 7th or 8th. This is all math, is regarding all the other ones. But the problem is you've got these lower teams like the Roosters and that who are flying.
Yeah.
You see? So they start racking up wins. We start dropping them. It's very tight between 6th and 10th.
Yeah, I mean, who are your possibles there? If we're 5th, and it looks like we'd play either the Sharks, the Dolphins, the Roosters, or the Sea Eagles.
I'll be happy to play any of them except the Roosters.
Yeah, although I would say I don't want to play the Dolphins either. I feel like the Finns have our number as well. But the Sharks and the Sea Eagles will be quite happy to play at Mount Smart in the first round of finals.
Yeah, I just would not want to watch Mark Nawangani-Tuasi or Daniel Tupou up against DWZ.
DWZ, yeah, that's a real problem.
Granted, I'll admit the Roosters are my second team. He is a generational talent as an athlete. He is insane to watch.
Yeah, and they keep saying it's silky rugby union skills, but I don't know. Is that a thing that's? Are they really, fostering these incredible skills, or is he just incredibly talented with the oval ball?
Having watched the Lions games, there's nothing silky about rugby union. It's like 400 kg dudes running, burrowing head first into each other. Like the fact that Marky Mark has that flick pass that is so controlled. Plus he tackles in the air. He is just insane. It was depressing as a Warriors fan to watch how the Dolphins were just torn apart. And here's something that it really pains me to say. I watched all the games on the weekend and I went, oh, wow, the Warriors are actually the hardest team to watch. This is more in a way of pure entertainment, right? We don't have those sweeping back plays, attacking out of our own 20. We just play this grind, but we can't actually carry the grind off because we are so down on troops. And it just looks like this amazing start to the season has caught up with us a bit.
Yeah, and we did get away with a few in that first half of the season as well. I think, we've lost our flair with Luke Metcalf. He was not a perfect player, but my God, he could step up for big moments. Obviously, Sean Johnson for many seasons was that flair.
I'd love to see a team that had both Luke Metcalf and Tane Tuapiki in it because Tane has that flair. I'm loving it when we're offloading a little bit more. That actually feels like we're getting going. But in open space, when you look at players even like Josh Adokar, who's so old, he's still like the fastest dude in the NRL.
We've got, to use a cricket analogy, we're just batting negatively. We're just trying to hold on to our wicket. We're just trying to hold on to those early points, and that's when the ball just starts nipping past the bat and getting edges and exactly. And it was a heartbreaker against the Dolphins, but those are the kind of games we won earlier in the season.
Oh, completely. And that talk about heartbreaker, it was that last play. And to quote a famous porn director, don't call it a comeback, but we are going to, I think, actually, if we string 2 good wins together, boom, back in the 8. Because Penrith are playing like the Storm. They've got a very hard run home. Broncos just were plucking on the hamstrings on the weekend, and they're in dire straits. They're playing 2 dummy halves now in their halves. So they're not as much of a threat on the four.
No.
So it comes, our destiny is in our hands. We should beat the Dragons at home. Granted, we've lost 5 out of 6 at Mount Smart recently.
It's not our fortress anymore, is it?
Which is tough. It's a Friday night game. Once again, I say this a lot. Fans of the potty will know we are big favourites at home. Friday night feels like a banana skin to me.
Yeah, well, the Dragons, as you say, hitting some form just at the wrong time. We will take a quick break now and come back and have a look at the rest of the season and also with your TAB hunch. All right, welcome back. We have touched on it slightly, but just having a look at the next 4 weeks. So these are our last 4 games. We've got Dragons at home this Friday. Then we've got the Titans away the following Saturday. Then we've got another home Friday night game against the Eels. And then the September the 5th is the Sea Eagles away. I think that is the last game in the regular season.
Yeah, the tough thing is with Mitchell Moses back in the Eels, they're a different side now. Rylesy has got that side working, and I think they're going to be a threat in the future. The Sea Eagles worry me because they're like, they could blow you off the park or you could smash them. They're such an up and down side. But if you've got people like Lehigh Hopewadi, Tom Travojevic, Tolu Kola, all hitting their straps, it's on. And the Dragons, I mean, Clint Gutherson never gives up. They beat the Raiders last week.
Yeah.
They feel like they're in form. Kyle Flanagan is playing well. King Tongia, his halves partner, is playing well. Jack de Belliend is playing well. Like that.
I'm sorry, what? Who?
Jack de Belliend.
Oh yeah.
I think that's his name. When he's not hiding under a bed. These are tough games because they're against teams that those teams, when you play the Bulldogs, we knew who was going to show up, right? We knew they were going to show up and play exactly how they played. Whereas any of these teams could show up like premiership contenders or spoon bowl contenders. And as I mentioned, we need wins. We need at least 2. One might squeak us in, but just 27 rounds is so long. Like, even there's still 4 rounds left of regular season. Anything can happen in that. Look at what happened to the Broncos, how they lost 3 players in one game. Like, I mean, I really hope we get Wade Egan back. I
believe he's back. I believe he's back this week.
Oh, that'd just be... See, Wade Egan, Sam Healy combo I like.
Yeah, same. I would start Tamati. I would start Tamati at 7. I think
he'll be out this week though.
He'll be out.
Yeah, because he had a Category 1 HIA.
Oh, of course he did. Yeah, of course
so
he did. Yeah.
He'll have the 11-day stand down. So how do you feel as Tanner Boyd? You dropped on game day, then you're brought back in because he has to. Like, it's not. I suppose that's just what being a professional footy player is.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's have a quick look now at what we consider the stonker of the round. And we identified this as the Cowboys' last-minute loss to the Parramatta Eels.
A lovely pronunciation.
Thank you.
It's always good to have a good Maori pronunciation on Parramatta.
Yeah, there's 2 R's, so you really have to roll it. It's Parramatta.
Right next to Plimerton, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Just for all you welly heads there. This was an intriguing game. 19-18 was the final score. Ended in an absolute ref's call of a try being scored by the Cowboys to potentially win the game. It gets given a try, sent up to the bunker. It was an obvious... People claim Mitchell Moses dived. In fact, Todd Payton in the presser said, he's known for diving, mate. We all know that. However, And then he walked it back very quickly. Oh, it's just a joke, mate. Just a joke. But it actually had nothing to do with the contact on Mitchell Moses. The ball was caught on the inside shoulder, so he effectively just ran a shepherd. So it was called a shepherd. So it was just a call by the rules. Josh Adokar scored a couple. He did very well. My favourite part of this was Talon De Silva had a shocker, right, for 5 minutes. And Mitchell Moses sprayed the shit out of him in game, like running up to him, screaming at him. You don't often see that.
No.
I mean, unless you play for our social cricket team, last man stands, and you got three gingers going at you because you dropped a catch, then you might see a spray like that. But you don't, in the modern day game, you don't see that. Usually someone drops the ball, it's high fives, here's a cupcake, mate, here's an Uber Eats voucher, you're awesome, don't worry about it, you know. But this was just because Talon De Silva, he just had he looked clueless, and he's meant to be this young up-and-comer. So I don't know whether Parramatta had buyer's remorse or just the way that he left the Tigers is still having a lot of stress on him. The Cowboys just cannot defend. They're the worst defensive team in the comp. I know you and I both have a soft spot for them. They got every single call from the ref in the beginning. Like, it was actually quite farcical. You know, that point where teams are getting penalties and even them, they're given the eyes, like, that's a bit of an interesting one.
The thing is, there's only two teams in the competition that aren't hitting form. Well, maybe three if you count the Knights, but they've been terrible all year. But it's only us and the Cowboys that seem to be on the slide. Everyone else seems to be on the up, although obviously the Dolphins got absolutely rooted by the Rooters in the weekend. Yeah,
but you're right. The Cowboys, to me, also feel like a good side. Like, they feel like they could be an amazing side. Tom Dearden is actually having a bit of an Origin gag-eye point in his career where he just hasn't clicked post-Origin, and he was, he's like the best player on the park during Origin.
Dispute that. I thought you were going to say something else, and I was going to agree with you, but I think he's having a great season around a team that's just not doing it for him.
Oh, no, I would maybe qualify what I said with the fact that I think in the last few games he's had to try too hard to do everything.
Yeah, fair.
So then you end up making mistakes. Taumalolo came back and showed up their entire forward pack. He played absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but he plays 17 minutes a game or something? Like, yeah, unfortunately.
That is the issue. He's like the partner in the relationship who claims they're doing the shopping, but you're the one who actually goes to the supermarket, gets everything, and they go up and get an ice cream from the dairy once a week or something. But you're right. He's one of those players that you go, if he had 50 or 60 minutes in him, then that he would just be a beast.
Well, that's what he used to do, right? He used to be just that Tongan rhinoceros in the middle of the field and play 60 minutes a game. But, we'll leave that one there. It was the Eels. As you say, I think they're a simmering threat, and obviously not this year, but we might see a better side next year.
Hey, I think the Eels will. It'll be really intriguing to see how they back up against us, going from Sunday to Friday, including travel to New Zealand. So that sort of plays in our favour as well. Hey, just quickly, what did you think of the brawl in the Roosters Dolphins game?
The Dolphins game? I mean, I was watching it, and I was watching it with my wife, and she goes, she loves a bit of biffo, when the league's on. So she's like, a bit of biffo, this is great. And I'm like, this is as good as it gets now. Like, this is as big as a brawl gets. There's still not really any punches thrown, but for the modern game, that was some proper biffo. Yeah,
there was like one sort of shadow punch thrown by a Dolphins player when the Nafahu White, but it's all very grab the jersey and push. Yeah. Although Spencer Leniu was shaping up to fully go into boxing zone. So we might disagree. I love how much of a wild card that dude is.
Oh, he is. Look, you've got to have them in your game. I mean, my issues with Spencer Leniu possibly are more centered around things he's said than things he's done. But
the whole racism buzz, that's a bit of an issue. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this is a completely different game. But the biggest grub move I saw all week was Latrell Mitchell after he got scored on. And I can't remember who it was. It was the whoever the hooker was.
Sam Verrills for the Titans.
Sam Verrill for the Titans, and he just grabs him by the collar, and because he's so strong, Latrell, he just basically rips him back, smacks him on the ground, and Verrill just walked away, going, "Oh, that's what he does." Everyone rushed in at that point, but yeah, that was purely because he had been showing up in defence.
Yeah, I love Latrell in terms of what he brings to the game and in terms of like the Greg Inglis vibe of like he does so much for the Indigenous community and so forth. But there's a few things in his game, like he'll do an average tackle and like stand over the player and stuff. Yeah. Like it's just like, and it does feel worse when you're fucking huge as well, you know, like like you're a massive dude. And it's also like bro, if Spencer Leniu comes at you with those eyes, that's like he honestly looks like he's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, no, he is a lunatic, and you got to have them in your game, I think.
Yeah, and I must say, I've rewatched that brawl quite a few times. That was the first rugby league brawl I saw where a few of the Dolphins players actually looked quite scared. Like it was like, oh, this is gonna kick off.
Yeah, it was as good as it gets now. I mean, in Origin you might see a punch, but of course we all know the rules are different for Origin. All right, well let's leave that round of the NRL there. We are going to put some money for the TAB hunch on the Wires 1 to 12. That's paying $2.80. We are favourites against the Dragons at home. But that seems like, I don't know if it's a safe bet, but it seems like a intelligent bet.
Yeah, well, we haven't gone 13. Oh, no, we went 13 plus on Cronulla. That was probably our best game of the season.
Is that the only time we've gone 13 plus all year?
Yeah. You know, every single win has been a bit of a heart stopper.
Yeah. Well, let's hope we can turn that around we're not sure who's playing where. I think Freddie Lussig's playing in the front row.
He might be he could be on the wing. We've got Bunty R4 on the other wing.
We could do worse than putting Freddie Lussick on the wing right now. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a little SuperCoach update and then off the back fence. Righto, welcome back. We've got a little SuperCoach update. I must admit, Dai, last week I ran out of trades. I still had Jerome Hughes in my team, and so I decided to give up.
You know, and that is an honest thing. I would refer to it as declaring.
Yeah, I've declared in my weekly, what's the thing where they predict how much you're going to get? I think it was about 740 points last week.
Yeah, so you're just like, I don't need this stress in my life. No. It's not changing. I took a couple of risks and bought in, I'm in the plate final for the bottom, which is always a bit, I'm not a plate final guy. It's like, no, it's like, you're either playing for the first or you're not. Yeah. It's like, at the Olympics, they don't have, let's figure out who came 5th and 6th, like.
Or whatever the 4th and 3rd place playoff at the World Cup. That is the most
and it gets played the day before or whatever.
Yeah, it's the most pointless game. And the All Blacks, if we have been knocked out, we always tend to lose that game.
Yeah, I think we played Wales in the Japan World Cup. Anyway, I bought in KO Weeks thinking that was going to change things. He's had an absolute shocker, even though the Raiders have been going pretty well. He is one of the most traded out players at the moment. People are they're bringing in Harry Grant heavily. He played amazing. He's the inform hooker, even though he only got 77 in SuperCoach. He's got a break even of 81. The man to look at will be Cameron Munster. I traded him out for KO Weeks. Might bring him back in, though, although he's playing Penrith. Although Melbourne tend to always beat Penrith during regular season. They just struggle in the finals. Munster got 92 last round. So the other half people are looking in is Sam Walker, who, talking about generational talents, shivers the Roosters have gone from losing all their players, like Joey Manu, Joseph Suaalii, Jared Waerea-Hargreaves, to suddenly having this young team of Savala and Walker. Also, Savala is the best Scottish name I think I've heard. So I looked it up because I was like, Hugo Savala, he's got to be one of those, like, he's got a one white Aussie parent, one Samoan parent or whatever. And I look him up. He's just dead set Scottish.
Wow. Okay.
And me and my son, Charlie, were like, Savala just does not feel like a Scottish name.
No, it really doesn't. I couldn't name you another Scottish player that's played in the NRL.
They've got great heritage, the Roosters. I love Mark Nwangani-Tuasi is half Italian, half Fijian. That's a cracking combo.
It is.
It's basically all halves that people are bringing in. Jaden Campbell's up there as well. In the second row, it looks like Beau Firma. So, but I imagine all those super coaches sort of know what you're doing now because you've either declared like Ben has, or you're just in that final race to the final.
Yeah, and don't forget, up for grabs are a couple of official 2025 New Zealand Warriors jerseys, thanks to our mates at Dynasty Sport. Now, before we go, Di, I think we've solved all the world's problems in 5 tackles and a kick. So let's finish off with a bit of Dai Henwood off the back fence.
Oh, a long kickoff. The offload to Henwood, and he's off the back fence. Boom time.
Here is my issue, okay? What is rugby league played by? It is played by 13 players. Sorry, I just had a bit of a frog in the throat as I was getting going. Who is it played by? It's played by 13 players. Players, not trainers. Trainers are doing my head in. We had last week, Jaden Campbell, the orange shirt runs in front of him, Corey Bocking, who had one of the most smug punchable faces I think you can have in rugby league. This week, the Cowboys get it, throw the ball back, it hits their trainer, just as Josh Adokar was hooning onto the ball. There's a 50-50 chance of him getting it. He could have got it and scored, but no, because when it hits the trainer, it's a mutual infringement. Therefore, the person holding the ball gets the ball back. So the Cowboys got the ball back. They got to reset their line. Trainers are doing my absolute head in. The Penrith trainer last week, he was on for the whole 5 tackles when you're only allowed to be on for 4 tackles as orange shirt trainer. They're out there. If you want to have a drink, mate, go over to the sideline. Go to the back fence and have a drink, right? Trainers should only come on when the referee stops the game. Then a trainer can come on. But they're all squirting water. They're running around with a little antipasto plate with the pickles in case you get a little crampy cramp. You have a little salami pickle and a little bit of pickle juice. Oh, go and do that on your own time, mate. If you're running around with an antipasto and information, that is not what rugby league is about. Surely the captain knows the game plan. You watch them. You watch the trainers. They stand back like the fullback, and they're just pointing where to go. They're telling people on each play which to run, where to run. I just don't like it, okay? Also, now it's come out that the trainers have been fudging HIAs to get more interchanges, and there's a handful of teams that are rocking 13 interchanges a game, not the 8 that's allowed because of the HIAs. So they're getting investigated by the NRL. You're a trainer. All your work happens at training. Just enjoy the game from the sideline. Come in, squirt a bit of water in that when it's needed, after a try, or when the referee stops the game. Rugby league is for the 13 players who are on the park.
One solution, you should be able to tackle them.
Oh, absolutely. Look, until someone just comes flying through the line and destroys a trainer.
On the 5th tackle, if they're allowed to be out there for 4, right? On the 5th tackle, you can tackle if they're still out there. You can take them out.
Yeah, they're just fair game. I'm liking that.
Well, that is Dai Henwood's Off the Back Fence, and that is Mad Monday for another week. We look forward to talking to you next week and raking over the coals of hopefully a Warriors win versus the Dragons. Up the wires. We'll see you later, Dai.
Mate wars.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.